Welcome back to Sean's show, everyone. I'm here with Connor behind the keys, as always. I hope you're doing well. We just got back from the Strait of Hormuz. Doing some deals, doing some analysis, hanging out with some people on boats, and trying to unclog the Strait of Hormuz. Which, by the way, is AI. I think AI. These AI guys, they go, hey, the Strait of Hormuz is shut down. I have an AI that can fix that. No, you don't. It's a people problem. Global oil production is down 20%. Have you tried my AI? Maybe my AI can get in there. And the AI is getting in there. The weapons are AI now, by the way. So hello. I hope you're doing well. We have a good show. I am doing well. Personally, my personal life is okay. Physically, I'm at about a 4 out of 10. And, comedically, I'm at a 10. That's kind of how it works. You can't have it all, ladies and gentlemen. You cannot have it all. You have to suffer a little bit for the art to be good. And if you're not suffering, then the art suffers. That's a bar. That's like a Kanye West bar. So we're going to talk about a lot of stuff today, guys. We're going to talk about the latest in Iran. I call it Iran now, by the way. I saw this post this chick was like, so Americans say Iran and Iraq, but they can say Italy. And I was like, oh, fuck, I was doing that. So Italy, Iran, it's the same I sound. So the war that's ended is still going. The war that's gone is ongoing. The war, it's over. The war's over. Guys, did you not... You're still talking about Iran? That was last week, brother. Oh, you're still talking about Iran? I like calling it Iran. You're talking about the war in Iran? We've moved on. We're in Syria. So we're gonna talk about that. Some updates there. We have a lot to get into. We have an article that I kind of want to dissect a little bit about how AI may not actually be helping you work less, which is what all these CEOs said. All these CEOs said, once AGI, artificial general intelligence, once AGI comes, work's going to be optional. Elon Musk said that. I believe that was Elon. One of those guys said that.
All of them said it.
They all said it. That's right. They all said work will be optional in 2030. You want to know why it's going to be optional? Because you're going to have no blood left. Your blood, you'll be hooked up to the AWS West 1 data center. And that's why work's optional. Because you're not, it's actually work won't be optional. You won't work. You're going to be hooked up. We're going to be in the matrix. So we're going to talk about that, how the advent of AI, like every other revolutionary technology, isn't actually going to give Americans more leisure time. Right? That's never happened in fucking history. Every time there's a transformative technology, there's all of these articles and puff pieces and op-eds come out in the news, and it's always people being like, golden age? Maybe if you run an AI company, that's what simultaneously I'm seeing. Simultaneously, what I read on the internet is sometimes people go, you have exactly 38 days to become wealthy or you will be in the permanent lower class. I'm like, Jesus. You have exactly 29 seconds to make $1 billion on an AI company or you will be training AI models in the dirt for eternity. Money is going away. You have exactly 10 seconds to buy a secret police force to protect you and your family. And then on the other hand, I see stuff like, robots are going to suck your cock. Those are the two things I hear. You have 31 days to join the upper class, or you will never have the ability to become wealthy because of how AI is going to change the economy and reshape the economy. That's one thing I hear. I also hear, you're going to be able to have a deep loving relationship with an AI, with an LLM. That's what I hear. So I don't know what's true. I don't know what's true anymore about AI. I hear it's a bubble. I hear it's not. I hear it's about to pop. I hear there's no bubble. So We'll get to that. But what I want to start with, by the way, review the show on Spotify, please. And check out the Patreon where I have an additional about a half hour where I say racial slurs. So come, that's a joke. Come check out the show, patreon.com/SeanShow. What are we going to do? So I want to start with this. There's a story that I think is really... There's a story. Sometimes I just bomb. I don't want to do this.
You're doing great. Do you want to pull up the story, Sean? I know what story.
Yeah, just thank you, Connor. I'm like, I honestly, guys, to be honest with you, I emptied the whole clip just now. I'm like, that was like, I'm out of gas. Like, that's all the funding I've got in me today. So, this is a story that is, I'm trying to think of the right word. This story is exemplifies. I guess exemplifies is fine. I try to use interesting words. Exemplifies is not that fancy, but this story that we're about to talk about, it exemplifies the frustration, I think, that a lot of people have with some of the stuff that the current administration is doing abroad. I would say that some people are slightly frustrated. I would say that some people are upset. Maybe they're perturbed. Maybe they're annoyed. There's a lot of words you could use. And so what have people done? What have people done to ameliorate? Boom. By the way, we have a thesaurus right here. We have an AI thesaurus next to the monitor, and we got all these. I have an AI that I coded, so it throws out synonyms for me to use. Ameliorate jargon. So what's going on? So we have a story. Some Americans, they are withholding their federal taxes to protest Donald Trump. This is from The Guardian. Meet the Americans withholding their federal income tax to protest against Trump. Now, before I get into this, this was a joke that I actually made a year and a half ago. So just by the way, I made a joke about this a year and a half ago, and now everyone is like stealing my idea and doing it for real. And that's cool. I thought of this idea. This was my idea. And I just, look, do I support this? Of course I do. I mean, this is Sean's show, ladies and gentlemen. Do you think I support people paying taxes? You're fucking high if you thought that, like, I draw the line at taxes. Oh, I like say all this shit about how there should be no countries. And then I'm like, you're gonna pay your tax. Sorry, I don't know. You gotta pay your taxes. But the thing is, this is gonna be interesting to see how this plays out, because withholding your federal income tax as a conscientious objector, that's a little thing I like to call white privilege. Do I support it? Of course I do. Fuck Trump, free Gaza. But having the knowledge, capital, and the conviction to withhold your taxes to protest the war, that's white people shit. I'm just gonna say it. That's a little bit of a crazy take. I mean, again, I don't want my money to go to funding the Tomahawk missiles. No one wants that. No one wants the money we pay in taxes to go to pay for a guy in Israel's healthcare. No one wants that. But look that up, by the way. So, not you, Connor, just the people. So, but is it cool? Yeah, it's cool. But also, one of the people that's sort of leading this movement is like a lawyer. So you're a lawyer, and my point is this: if you're in the lower, let's say you're poor, let's say you're middle class, let's say you're hemorrhaging money on a podcast. Let's say you're hemorrhaging money on a podcast, and you've sold out to the AI industry. Wink. I have done that, by the way. I'm sorry. Cards on the table, you guys. I do have an AI freelance job. It's not in the weapons, thankfully. Knock on. Thank God. How do you think I get the show out, guys? My whole show is about how I hate that people sell out, and here we are. But I don't count that as selling out. When I do something, here's the thing. You guys got to understand me. Hopefully you like me. Hopefully you're not mad at me. Don't be mad. When I do something that's morally ambiguous or questionable, like doing a freelance AI thing that automates jobs to pay my bills, that is in service of a greater good, which is the show and spreading the gospel of hatred of AI. It's part of a greater good. Now, the difference is when comedians have softball interviews with politicians, that is not in service of a greater good. You understand? It's not. I have a greater good. Everyone else has bad intentions. Everyone else in media has disingenuous intentions and is in it for the clicks. I have a mission, and I'm part of a greater good, and I only engage on a very limited basis where I have to get reach the show so you can reach the show. You understand? I do the bare minimum. I do the bare minimum engagement and interaction with these corporations. And I am excited to announce our next guest, the president, Donald Trump. Ladies and gentlemen, we actually are going to our guest right now, Marco Rubio. We have Marco Rubio on Zoom. Give it up for Marco Rubio. And Jared Kushner, envoy to Iran. I love how they made Jared Kushner the envoy to Iran, and then he's doing a good job envoying. Jared Kushner's doing a really good job as the envoy. Now, if you made me the envoy to a country, and then we go to war with that country, you're fired. You're fired. Right? Am I fucking stupid? Is that not what I mean, I don't know if it's he's Jared Kushner is the envoy to Iran. He is I believe that's different from the ambassador. But either way, he represents the United States in interactions with Iran. And yeah, if I was the envoy to Denmark on behalf of the United States, and then we nuke Denmark, I don't expect to keep my job. I'd be like, hey, what can I say? But what's actually happening is I believe our friend Jared Kushner might have been even pushing for this. So let's not call him an envoy then. So Jared Kushner becomes envoy to Iran. I believe he supported the bombing. I believe he supported and maybe even is more of a war hawk than Trump is potentially. Do we have anything on that?
Actually, he canceled.
He
canceled on Iran.
In what sense? Like
they're no. I'll pull up this article I just found.
The Jerusalem Post. I own this website. U.S. envoys Steve Witkoff, Jared Kushner cancel scheduled Israel trip for Thursday.
Oh wait, Israel trip.
Oh, you're good. I mean, that's important info too. So
there's a bunch of stuff saying they're ill prepared.
Right. I mean, it's the people around Trump. They're all war hawks, Jared Kushner included, and it's an insane time to witness this. It's an insane. I mean, we really are living through history. We're living through history, and I mean, if you have any brain at all, you can see that this is not a war that's going to last a day. It's already lasted longer than a day. American soldiers have already been killed in the war, and Trump didn't want to take off his hat. See that photo? They're bringing back the dead bodies of these 22-year-old kids that die in war, and Trump keeps his fucking hat on. It's like, hey, man, take off your fucking hat, okay? This guy just died. In battle, fighting for our oil reserves, and you can't even take off your fucking hat. It's pathetic. So that's why people are protesting. That's crazy. Dude, take off your fucking hat. I hate this country, but you will I hate America. I hate the United States. I hate every country. I have a lot of issues. I will retract that. I have a lot of issues with the United States, okay? And I am the least patriotic man I know. But you take your fucking hat off For the dead guy.
Someone yelled at me at a sports bar when the national anthem was going on.
Yeah.
For not being quiet and taking off my hat at a sports bar.
That's crazy. I mean, everyone there rapes. They're like, hey man, take your hat off. Everyone at sport, they all rape their wives, and they're like, hey man, take your fucking hat off. So you get accosted because you're in a sports bar and you don't take your hat off in a fucking sports bar. But Donald Trump, the president, keeps his hat on. I mean, maybe he has dementia. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with him. He seems pretty coherent to me. Palantir is up, ladies and gentlemen. Palantir is up. That is not a coincidence. Palantir is up from its lows, and that is really why we went to war. The reason we went to war. Why don't you go look? What I want you to do, if you want to know why we really went to war with Iran, what I want you to do is Google Palantir stock price, and I want you to find the recent trough, the recent dip, and find the date of the lowest price. Okay? It's recent. And then what I want you to do is I want you to compare that date to when we bombed Iran. And I think you will find the reason we went to war with Iran. Okay? And so people are mad about this. People are mad about the corruption. They're mad about the war mongering. They're mad. They're furious. I'm furious about the Epstein files. They're furious that Israel's dragging us into another war that could maybe accelerate and evolve into World War III. People are fucking pissed and they're at their breaking points. And when that happens, you have to leave it to white women to lead the progressive charge. White women lead the people. I was going to say something crazy. I was going to say, no, you know what they actually do? It's Malcolm X leads the civil rights movement. MLK, they lead the civil rights movement. And then white women, they get involved. It's not a sexual thing. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Maybe there's this, maybe that's a component of it. Like, white women are just really into like these like black civil rights leaders. And then they ruin the movement. Can we, next time, you know what we need? And again, I'm a feminist. I do not use the term girl boss. I'm sorry if you're a woman listening to this. I'm talking about, when I say white women, what I really mean is like, focus on the word white, not the word women. White men, we already know that I'm just a racist. I'm a racist against white people. I'm racist against white men. We already know that they're the devil. That's been established. But white women, it's interesting because they're white, but they're women, so they're oppressed, which I do believe. But the point is, so let's take a look at this story. Oh, I forgot to say this. So people are withholding their federal income tax. And you know who's not doing that? The Uber driver. Because guess what? If you want to actually do this protest, where you're not paying your federal income tax, you want to know what happens when you don't pay your federal income tax? They find you and they actually blow your head off in the street. People don't know this. I encourage everyone to do this, but I don't know if you guys know, the IRS does not fuck around. I owe them taxes, and I'm afraid that I walk around and I'm afraid I'm going to get fucking shanked. The IRS is like the mob. It's a very high stakes game. That's all I'm going to say. But the thing is, if you're poor and you don't pay your taxes, the IRS can garnish your wages, take your property. All right. So yes, I am supported, but also at the same time, let's not forget the fact that a lot of people don't have the privilege of being able to not pay their federal income tax. That's what I wanted to say. That's all. So what's the story here? Excuse me, guys. I have long COVID, I think. Give me one sec. All right. I'm not paying my federal income taxes this year, Rachel Cohen declared in a recent Instagram video that received more than 140,000 likes. And that was less than the joke that I made about it. That's fine. I got 200,000 likes. The 31-year-old lawyer in Chicago plans to put the $8,800 she owes the federal government into a high-yield savings account instead. She doesn't want to fund wars in Iran and Gaza or immigration agents detaining the neighbors, she said. I fucking support that. If you have the ability to do that, fucking do it. Okay? I'll probably do it too. I'm probably not going to pay my taxes this year because I can't afford it. I'm a 1099. I am a 1099. You want to know what that means? I get beat like a dog, and I have to figure out my tax. My uncle handles my taxes, by the way. I know white privilege because I am a beneficiary of it. I still don't know how to pay my taxes. I'm a 30-year-old. I'm 29, and I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how it works. Many commenters say that they wanted to do the same. Others worried about her. She goes, I've gotten a lot of people saying, Rachel, this is illegal, Cohen said. To which I say with gentleness, I am a competent attorney. Cohen is part of a new generation of Americans refusing to pay some or all of their federal income taxes. It's a new form of dissent. One of the first protests in the United States was, after all, a protest after unfair taxation. It is uniquely American to not pay your taxes, but it's also one that's gaining steam as Americans reject how their tax dollars are being spent under Trump. So I mean, this is cool. This is cool, but I'm just saying, let's not give white women free press over this. Let's not. It's cool. It's cool. I don't know how I feel. It's cool. It's a movement. Yes, it's awesome. And I'm not trying to dissuade anyone from doing it. Can we scroll down here, see if there's anything else? Any interesting stuff? So this is like a movement that's gaining steam. This is like,
seems like we did this in the 80s as well.
Oh, really? For Vietnam? Or was that
in January?
I just outed myself. I don't even know what decade Vietnam was.
Oh, no, in January. Oh, so this organization, I'm misreading here as well. This NWT, the National War Tax Resistance Coordinating Committee, which has been around since the 80s, held its largest ever War Tax Resistance 101 training.
Okay, Connor, I'm going to stop you right there. So you just said that the National War Tax, what is it? Resistance. Okay.
It's too long.
Okay.
It's too long.
So, well, let me say this. So we just learned some people are not going to pay their federal income tax. And there's this group that actually does this. And they've been around since the 1980s. They're called the National War Tax Resistance Coordination Committee. That's a mouthful. And by the way, not doing that good of a job, guys. Hey, let me ask you this. So you've been around since the 1980s. Let me think about if there's been any wars since the 1980s. You guys have been doing a really bang up job in your resistance of the federal income tax. Guys, you've killed it. Good job. Hey, we're resisting. I don't pay it's cool. It's cool. Again, I don't want to be a wet blanket. It's cool, but this, and hopefully this is the way forward. Hopefully this is the way that we can actually hit them where it hurts in their pocketbook. Because you can't audit everyone. That's what we don't need a committee. Just don't fucking pay it. That's all you got to do. You don't need a committee. You don't need bureaucracy. You don't need to go on Instagram and advertise that you're doing it. I'm a lawyer, by the way. Stop. I bet you're a fucking corporate lawyer. I bet you're a corporate lawyer for. I bet you work in big law. You know, it's. And again, I realize I have a lot in common with this woman that's spearheading this thing, and Honestly, I've been really very mean to her, but maybe we can join forces. Maybe we can. I'm actually joining the National War Tax Resistance Committee, USSR committee.
Well, I think it's interesting. A few years ago, the trainings would only get a dozen people.
Right.
To your point, we've had a lot of wars.
Right.
Why now? But 500 people showed up last time.
Wow.
So there's steam.
5. That's I support this. I do support it, and we can only. This is evidence that our system is really cracking, because most protesting, it's like, it's very tricky. Protesting is very tricky. Do you guys remember? You guys remember Bud Light? This was a while ago. Remember the Bud Light? Remember conservatives were protesting Bud Light? Conservatives. This is a while ago, but conservatives were protesting Bud Light because they worked with a trans influencer by the name of Devaney, maybe?
Dylan
Mulvaney. So there's a lot of ways to protest, and I think that there are good. We also just have to admit to ourselves, there's good protests and there's not so good protests. And I firmly believe that, protesting works. Protesting works. A lot of protesting works. But it's very funny when conservatives protest, because conservatives, protesting is like pussy liberal, the pussy hats. Remember the pussy hats? It's funny that conservatives are like, remember, this is a wild story to me, because they protested Bud Light because that Bud Light worked with this transgender woman, and all these conservatives were like, I'm gonna vote with my dollar. You're gonna vote with your dollar? What are you gonna do after that? You're gonna go get a matcha latte? You live in Alabama. Shut the fuck up and drink your Bud Light. I'm gonna vote. I'm gonna vote with my dollar. I ain't buying Bud Light. I ain't drinking Bud Light anymore after they worked with that man dressed as a woman. I ain't doing it. I'm gonna vote with my dollar. And it's like, dude, you don't care. You don't care. You don't care. You don't actually care. Most people, and that's what I'm trying to get to, most people, when they protest, I just want to go up to them and be like, you don't actually care. You don't actually care. When I was in LA, sorry, this is getting very racial and touchy, but when I was in LA during the BLM protests. And I didn't go to the BLM protest. You want to know why? It's not because I don't support it. It's because it's not my fucking place. It's not my fucking place. White people go to protests that are real and they turn them into Coachella. As a white person, we don't need to be there. We can fucking post and do other stuff. Okay? But we are not helping. Right? Am I crazy? Maybe, I know this is a very sensitive subject. I think it's crazy, because I saw photos of the BLM protests in LA, and this was a while ago, right? And it was like, it was just women on cars smoking weed, and like there were like tacos. There were like tacos. That's like, guy, like I don't know. All right, let's move on from this. This is I've squeezed the towel enough on this. But again, I'm pro protest. You understand? I am. So that's good. We'll see if that actually helps. I'm supporting of it, and I want to encourage everyone. Why pay your taxes? No, why? What are they going to do? They can't audit all of us. Maybe they can. I don't know. Can they?
The AI probably can in a couple years.
They're going to be, the IRS, they're investing in AI tools. And if you do this and you advertise it online, like I'm doing right now, they will come to your house and they will arrest you. You can do anything you want, but that's one thing that they will come after you for. So I've heard. I haven't been touched yet. So I've heard. And by the way, you know who else is actually not paying their federal income tax? The billionaires. Ironically, the billionaires are also part of this protest that you're talking about. The billionaires and the upper 0.1%, they're fine. They're fine. And they're doing this protest. They don't pay their taxes either. And they've been doing it. The difference is billionaires can afford to not pay their taxes and do it legally because they hire lawyers and CPAs to optimize their portfolio. When a billionaire doesn't pay their taxes, it's called portfolio optimization. When you don't pay your taxes, it's called a crime. And that is true. That is true. When a billionaire gets around their taxes and has an effective tax rate of 1%, well, that's because he's very smart and knows the law and hires CPAs and he hires lawyers and he hires lobbyists to change the law on his behalf. He's just smart. It's legal. But when you don't pay your federal income tax on time, that's called a felony, brother. That's called a felony. Okay? And we're going to garnish your wages. You know what we need to start doing? Can you zoom in a little bit on this, Connor? Let's take a look. What's the source on this? We have to do sources now because how much taxes? This is from Alex Jones's blog.
National Bureau of Economic Research.
Okay, that sounds official. This is from BuzzFeed. Fuck BuzzFeed. I'm so glad BuzzFeed is like irrelevant now. Thank fucking God. BuzzFeed was like one of the worst websites. It's like the worst clickbait trash. Listicles. Okay, so what's the headline on this again? Sorry, I'm like, how much taxes do U.S. billionaires pay? Evidence from administrative data. Let's find out. Let's find out how much the billionaires are paying. All taxes paid relative to economic income of the top 0.0002%, approximately the top 400, averaged 24% in 2018 to 2020, compared with 30% for the full population and 45% for top labor income earners. So the billionaires, they pay 24. We pay 30. They pay less taxes on a percent basis. On a percent basis. They go, whoa, my tax bill is 18 million. Yeah, because you have 18 billion, fucktard, you dumb fuck. Well, yeah, they pay lower on a percent basis, but as a taxable base, the billionaires are the largest tax group, as they fucking should be. That's how percents work, dumbass. Yeah, that's how percents work. Well, the overall effective amount they're paying is more than the middle and lower class people on a absolute basis. Yeah, that's how percents work, dumb fuck. Oh my God. And on a percent basis, they pay less. They are obscenely wealthy. They have more money than anyone will ever be able to spend in a million lifetimes. And they pay less taxes than an Uber driver. Your Uber driver pays a higher taxes on a percent basis than them. And how did we get on this? What were we talking about?
Oh, great. Oh, the billionaires.
Oh, yeah, the billionaires are
paying taxes either.
So they're effectively, you know who I don't, the only way this tax protest thing is going to work is if the billionaires stop, because that is the largest taxable base. I'm just being real. I'm just calling it like I see it. Billionaires do pay. Can we look that up? Because I want to clear this up because a lot of people think that billionaires literally don't pay any tax. And I kind of want to see maybe tax.
The actual number that they
like
contribute?
number, some sort of pie chart about like billionaire like maybe like what the amount of money that each, maybe it's even in here.
It's a short article here.
Oh,
I'll do some research.
Anyway, so while Connor's doing that, we're moving quick on this show, guys. We fact check. It's very important that we fact check on the NBER on our data. But I'm just going to assume that billionaires, they actually do pay the most tax. So the only way that I mean, it's really all kind of coming together right now, you guys. The billionaires, a lot of them are defense contractor CEOs, right? A lot of them are. Or they're government contractors more broadly, okay? So when they pay their taxes, and that goes into the federal budget, their own tax money is being spent and funneled back into their fucking companies as a government contract. So the money they give the government gives it right back. I mean, it's fucking insane. Billionaires really are the biggest. Billionaires are the welfare class. The real welfare class. People talk about welfare queens and all these horrible things they say about poor people. The real welfare class is American billionaires, ladies and gentlemen. You want to know why? American billionaires, a lot of them, government contractors. And they're getting these fat, juicy contracts from the government. And what do they get in return? What does the government, what do the people get in return? Fucking nothing. Shitty service. Bullshit. They sit around all day. Everything that they say about people addicted to welfare, that's true about billionaires. People that sit around all day tweeting. They sit around all day on their fucking phone collecting a paycheck from the government. I'm not talking about poor people. I'm talking about Elon Musk. The fucking, you're addicted to welfare. That is the welfare class. Do we have some data here?
There's a lot of data. Okay. I think what's most helpful might be this table just with the raw numbers.
Okay, here we go. So this is could you punch that in a little bit? So our older viewers, no one listens to this that's older than
actually,
like
let me maybe provide this context here. These 3 bullets.
Okay. So in 2022, let's start with this. Okay. The average income tax rate in 2022 was 14.5%. Top 1% of taxpayers paid a 23.1% average tax rate, 6 times higher than the 3.7 average tax rate paid by the bottom half of the taxpayers. Uh-oh, my whole theory exploded. Fuck. The top 1% income share fell from 26.3% in 2021 to 22.4% in 2022, and its share of federal income taxes paid fell from 45% to 40%. Okay, so they paid less of the total. Is that right? Is that what that's saying?
Yeah. Basically, they pay the top 1% in 2022. Things have changed. They've actually gotten more deductions, but they paid 40.4% of all of the taxes.
Got it.
And you can see here that year was 153. No, that's Church of
$14.8 trillion
in taxes.
In taxes. Okay.
So 40% of 14.
And this is the top 1%, right?
Yeah.
So the top 1% of the taxable base, the top 1% of people by wealth or maybe by income pay 40% as of 2022.
Yeah.
40% of the total taxes.
Yes. And I think this chart shows.
So what's the problem? I don't see. So there seems like they're paying a substantial amount of money. Now, the real problem isn't that the real problem, I don't think, is taxes, guys. I think the real problem is that you gotta like really reverse it, and you gotta think, okay, they're paying 40% of the 1%. They pay 40%, let's say, roughly, of the total tax collections, right, in a given year, roughly 40%. What you need to be upset about is not that. What you need to be upset about is not that the billionaires are not paying their taxes. They are paying their taxes. What you should be upset about is the fact that billionaires can pay that and be fine.
Here's the number right here. It's the income taxes paid in millions of dollars.
Okay. So that's 863,000 million, which I'm going to assume is a billion. Or I'm a finance guy. I should know this. This is like one of the classic things.
Millions.
So that's 863,100,000 million.
Yeah.
That sounds like a big number. Is that
I'm confused.
Is that what column is this? Is this
this is the 1%.
Oh, this is
top
1%.
1% column.
Okay, so this is legit data. Let's just take a look at. I mean, I feel like when people talk about this stuff, they don't look at the data at all.
What is that number?
It's 863 billion.
Yeah, because we're our taxes. There was how many trillion in taxes?
14 trillion, I think. 14 trillion.
14 trillion. So they're
Right.
paying less than 1 trillion of that.
Wait,
But
is that right?
wait, no, sorry. And then I also discovered this in the actual bracket. So that is just for that top 1% bracket.
Okay.
That is the highest tax bracket. Because if you look at this number here, the percentage, 22, it's down, the 40.4% we were talking about, you can see the lower bracket is a higher percentage and that exceeds 100%. So just in that top bracket, these people paid 40 billion. So in the lower brackets, you know how everyone has to pay the 12% or whatever. And
Not
then you go
me, but
yeah,
continue.
So not the people that are protesting, but you pay 12% on the first 12,000 or
Right.
whatever it is, and then you pay
A higher rate.
for the next money after that. So
Right.
this is just in that top bracket.
I
They're
see.
also paying all the lower brackets along.
And that's
the
not
way.
included in that number.
No, that is just the bracket itself. So they're really obfuscating
There you go.
the numbers.
So, but even again, so this is income taxes paid in millions by the 1%. And the number, according to this article, is 631,100,000 million. I can't even say the number. 863 and 631,100,000 million.
It couldn't be any clearer, Sean, how much they're paying.
See, that's you know, and at these amounts you get mixed up. You're like, oh, it's 1,000 millions. 1,000 millions is a billion. So 100,000 millions. I don't even fuck it. I'm not autistic enough for this. I think it's 0.863 billion. So almost a billion, maybe. It's
Almost a trillion?
I think. But here's the thing. Let's zoom out and think about the bigger picture here. The thing is, billionaires only pay taxes on income. They don't pay, but the vast majority of the wealth that they've generated is in stock. It's in property. It's called, and here's how I know the United States were absolutely fucked, is because in Congress right now, they're talking about passing a law that taxes billionaires on unrealized capital gains. Now, personally, I think maybe we should go a little further and be executing them. I don't know. That's just sometimes, not all of them. You know, everyone says there's no ethical billionaires. Taylor Swift. Boom. I live in Brooklyn. Everyone in Brooklyn's like, there's no ethical billionaires. Kill the landlords. Let's start with my dad, by the way. Kill the landlord, kill the billionaires, kill the landlords. I agree. If you touch a hair on Taylor Swift's head, I will have your head. No ethical billionaires there's no ethical billionaires. Taylor Swift made it ethically, and you should shut your fucking mouth. I am the last guy to defend billionaires, but Taylor Swift, she was a Number one, she had to deal with being a CIA psyop as a child. Number two, she had to learn the guitar. You're telling me learning the guitar is unethical? You know, yeah, there's no ethical billionaires, but they're not all equally unethical. Okay? Alex Karp, CEO of Palantir, you will not put him in the same bucket as my queen, Taylor Swift.
I've got an idea, Sean. If Taylor Swift comes out and says, I'm not paying taxes this year, I mean, the whole movement
that
takes off. I mean, that the NW,
the National War Resistance Tax
Committee?
Soviet Committee,
it would win.
But here's the thing about Taylor Swift. You're right. That would be a genius move and a good PR move for Taylor Swift. But you got to understand that Taylor Swift. Well, actually, I'm going to retract everything I just said, because the only way you become a billionaire is by hoarding. You know, the only way to really become a billionaire is to, I know how to do it. I'll let you guys in. I'll put you in some games since you're listening to the show. I'll put you guys onto this. If you want to know how to be a billionaire, it's Venmoing your friend $2.38 for the Uber. It's Venmo requesting your friend for the drink that you guys got in the Lower East Side. That's how you become a billionaire. All that shit they say, all that shit that Dave Ramsey says about like not living above your means. Hey, Dave, it's the end of the world. Suck my dick. Hey, Dave, what am I saving up for? Oh, yeah, I'll have $200K in my 401k when the nuke goes off. Fuck you, Dave. Hey, Dave, stop being such a fucking buzzkill. Dave Ramsey's like, oh, you're living above your means and you really shouldn't be getting debt. Hey, Dave, look outside. The Strait of Hormuz is closed, Dave. The Strait of Hormuz is closed. We bombed Iran again and again and again. I'm going to have some credit card debt. Pardon me, Dave. Hey, Dave, pardon me if I have a little bit of credit card debt on my Amex. You fucking wet towel. You fucking wet towel fuck. I would never take out debt. He's the debt guy, right? Do you know Dave Ramsey?
Yeah, kind of.
I believe he's the guy that's like, don't ever take out debt ever, period.
Which is the opposite of, what's his name? There's the one guy. There's other people who are like, take out debt immediately.
Yeah. And I believe it is Dave Ramsey who's like, don't take out any debt. You want to know, I mean, but what's very funny about that is that the only way to get rich is called debt. I really believe that Dave Ramsey is trying to keep the people down. I believe that Dave Ramsey, you know what we should do? We should have a segment on the show. We should have PSYOP of the Week. That's funny, right? PSYOP of the Week. PSYOP of the Week. Dave Ramsey is a CIA PSYOP to keep you poor. How is he doing that? By advocating that you shouldn't get any debt. He is limiting your ability dramatically to build wealth. You want to know how every motherfucker that built wealth did it? They did it by it's debt is another word for leverage. Who doesn't want leverage? Let's look at this. This is Dave Ramsey. Here's a quote from Dave Ramsey. You tell me if this is a guy that has your best interest in mind. Dave Ramsey says, debt is the biggest thief of your financial future. Hey, Dave, shut the fuck up. Hey, Dave, I am not one to speak on finance. My credit score is 489. Okay? Because I actually do have 2 maxed out credit cards. Dave Ramsey's advice is for people like me that are actually using debt in the wrong way. But my problem with Dave, though, is just like, you know, my parents, for example, they bought a home. They couldn't afford to buy it with fucking cash. If only there was a way to buy something and only pay a little bit up front and get the rest of the money from somewhere else. If only, you know, what's that called? If only one of the quintessential components of American culture is the 30-year mortgage. I guess, you know what, Dave? I guess you're right. I guess having a mortgage is a mistake. You know what, Dave? I guess you're right. I guess I should just save up the money and buy a house all cash. Because so many people can do that. So many people can just save up all their money. It'll only take me a year. I'll save up $1.5 million to buy a respectable home in San Jose. And I'll just go all cash. Oh, Dave, you're so smart, Dave. I'm an idiot. You know what, Dave? Debt is the biggest thief of your financial future. What a fucking load of shit. Debt is the path. I just become a finance influencer. You have to take out debt. If I was a finance influencer, I would tell everyone to just max out their credit cards immediately. And honestly, you know what the move is in 2026? Max out all your credit cards and don't stop applying for more. Apply for every credit card you can, max it the fuck out. And when they call you about your card getting shut off because you're not paying the bill, just ignore the calls. Block them. Number 2, don't pay your federal income taxes. Free Gaza. Number 3, go out, touch some grass, do some coke, and live it up. Have some sex. You know what's better than worrying about your credit score? Doing a little blow and getting a fucking blowjob. How about you live a little? Hey, Dave, how about you let people live their lives? Hey, Dave, shh, it's okay. You don't need to tell everyone over and over and over again that debt is bad. How do you think we built? Hey, Dave, how do you think we built America, Dave? It's called the national debt. Oh, Dave, so no, you're right. We should just fund massive infrastructure projects as a country. With what? The billionaires? You think the billionaires are going to pay? You think the billionaires are going to pay for the infrastructure? They pay a little bit, 24% to be exact. But
in
Dave,
2022.
In 2022. It's probably zero, let's be honest. With Trump, let's be honest. But this idea that like debt is... All right, let's get this guy off our screen. He's a little fuck.
Where are we going next, Sean?
So we did the tax thing. I have a lot of stories. What do we got some options? What do we
Iran,
got?
There's oil, there's more AI.
Let's do the AI thing. I feel like we covered let's do the AI thing for sure. So, and then we'll probably talk about more on Iran in the Patreon. The thing is, it's like I don't want to forget the key topics of the show. We really need to establish there's some key topics on this show. Fuck Alex Karp. Number 2, I'm doing a list right now. I'm doing like BuzzFeed. Fuck Alex Karp. AI
updates.
But again, it's like I want to keep it in. Basically, what I'm saying is, don't forget about the Epstein files. That's what I'm trying to say. We have not. I'm trying to assure you that I have not forgot about the Epstein files. So, just so you know, can we talk about Iran and Epstein every week? It gets old. We have to kind of switch it up. But we will talk about it on the Patreon. Patreon.com/SeanShow. Okay. All right. Okay. So this is an article from the Journal, the Wall Street Journal, in case you're poor. If you're rich, you call it the Journal. Oh, you see that article in the Journal? That's what they call it, by the way. These rich fucks. So what is the latest on AI, the evolution of AI and the development of AI? So this is from the Wall Street Journal. AI isn't lightening workloads. It's making them more intense. Yeah. Woo. Yes.
We did it.
Wait a minute. I thought by 2030 we were all just gonna live in a utopia. I thought by 2030. So wait, Elon Musk lied? Elon Musk lied to me? Why did you lie, Elon? Why did you lie, Elon? I thought work was gonna be optional. I've been living my life preparing for work to be optional. Now you're saying AI is going to make work more intense? It is. AI. Everything they told you about AI. Here's actually what's so genius about these AI executives. They tell you both sides of the story at the same time every day. You want to know why they do that? So that you can't call them out for lying. They don't have any narrative. The AI, they'll say, white collar jobs are going to be gone by 2030 and work will be optional. We're going to live in a utopian society where Donald Trump sends you $10,000 a month as a check in the mail. 2030. AI is revolutionary. By 2030, you're going to be sitting in your flying house, floating over Tulum in Mexico, beautiful city. You're going to be in your floating house over Tulum, looking out at the water, and a robot that was trained on your ex-girlfriend. It's going to be an exact replica of your ex-girlfriend. A robot version of your ex-girlfriend is going to be giving you slop top. And you're going to be looking out at the ocean. And then you're going to open up on your VR goggles. You're going to open up your VR goggles, and it's going to say, hey, Donald Trump just wired you $10,000. We did it. We did it, Bacca. And then you're going to be drinking a Muay Thai. They've sold you that vision of what AI is going to do. You're going to be in a floating house in Tulum, getting your dick sucked by a robot octopus, whatever you're into, right? And they've also sold you the negative vision, which is that we as in not the billionaires, we will work for the robots. They've sold us that. They've told us that's a threat. They've told us AGI could take over the world and kill humanity. And they tell you all, why do I know this? Because I do it too, folks. I believe in nothing. I tell you all the narratives simultaneously, so you can't hold me to account. But I'm a comedian, so it's fine. Hopefully. But that's what they're doing. The AI industry, they're telling you every single narrative simultaneously, so you cannot hold them accountable to their promises or their warnings. And one of the big promises of AI is that it was going to make life easier. And what have we found? We found that no. In fact, the expectation of your productivity just tripled. Because aren't you using Claude? Hey, by the way, AI is going to make everything easier. Oh, cool. That's awesome. And then cut to 2026. Hey, where's that full? Hey, I know I asked you. You know what AI is doing? It's creating a culture where in 1 hour of work, you are expected to move fucking mountains. And all these dumb fucking boss boomer fucks at the top, I love it. At my old job, that's all they said. At my old job, they were shoving AI down our throats, and they never even used it. Like they don't even know what Copilot is. Like, oh, Copilot. That reminds me of this Copilot, my good friend. He flew for Jeffrey Epstein. Copilot, is that like a Jeffrey Epstein reference? But they tell us, the actual knowledge workers, to use AI. By the way, I love that phrase. I love the phrase knowledge worker. A knowledge worker is a very complimentary way to describe people that send 2 emails a day and jack off to porn at 3:30 in the afternoon. That's not what I think of when I think of a knowledge worker. I think of someone in a command center fucking touching bubbles and shit, like bubbles with orbs. I imagine a knowledge worker, I imagine a guy in a command center with like orbs that like do shit. But knowledge workers are the people that make $300K a year, fully remote, no accountability, send 2 emails a day, and then they go on a Zoom call and they go, nothing for me, thanks. Nothing on my end. Nothing on my end. Oh, nothing on my end. No. Hey, Sean, what have you been doing the last week? Oh, just nothing for me. Nothing for me. But what is AI doing? AI is not making our life easier. AI is increasing the expectation of you to be more productive. I wish we lived in a world 5 years ago where you get an assignment from your boss and you can take 4 days and you work 1. But you can take 4 days to turn around the deliverable. You know? Now, with AI, these dumb bitches and dicks and assholes at the top, they expect you to turn around a deliverable immediately. Where is it? It's been 42 minutes. Don't make me message you on Slack again. Hey, where is it? Aren't you using Claude? Yeah, I'm using Claude. It told me to fire my lawyer. Yeah, I'm using Claude. It told me to divorce my wife and go to Thailand. Claude is not what you think. OpenAI, not what you think. And by the way, have you guys used these AI tools? These AI tools are not doing a good job. Have you ever tried to use AI to do anything? You need to it's really, truly, I spend just as much time yelling at the AI sometimes as I do if I just did it fucking manually. In fact, I think it's made me less productive, which is good. I can run out the clock. I think AI has made me less productive, which is actually a good thing because I can pretend it's easier. You guys know, you got to finesse the system, right? If something takes you 5 hours, of course you say it takes you 20, and you say you have roadblocks. How are you supposed? The only way to make it in this world is to finesse the system that you're involved in. Okay? So if a task takes you 5 hours, just lie. You have to lie. Isn't it sad that we live in a world where you have to lie to survive? So AI is not lightening the workloads. Let's look at this article. Can you scroll up to that photo? Isn't that all of us right now? Just sitting at our computer, at our hybrid job, just like rubbing our temples, being like, God, just fucking kill me, please kill me. That is a woman that has made a lot of deliverables. That is a woman that has made more deliverables than any human being should be expected to deliver. Well, why aren't you using why aren't you on Copilot? Oh, you're having trouble with the deliverable? Did you check with AI? Oh God. Yeah, Adam, I did check AI. Oh, thanks. I love it when you have a boss and the boss goes, "Oh, well, you're having a." Here's the crazy thing is the only real use case for AI is killing babies, and the other use case is for bosses to get out of the giving feedback part of being a manager. The only thing AI does is it allows managers to get out of the job of being a manager. Have you ever asked your boss anything these days? You ask your boss like, "Hey, I'm having trouble with this assignment. Like, I'm kind of new to this stuff. Like, could you give me some help?" "Well, did you talk with AI?" "I'm sorry, I'm really busy." Just like, why don't you ask Claude? As if Claude is another guy. Who's Claude? "Well, did you check with Claude?" I'm not talking to Claude. I'm done with Claude. All Claude has done is compliment me and give me, tell me that the thing is perfect, even though I know it's trash. So the AI, let me really distill what's going on. So the AI tools that are supposed to make you more productive, but actually make the job longer because you have to correct what the AI fucked up in addition to the work of doing the thing. Now we are expected to increase our productivity using a tool that makes us less productive. That's fucking awesome. Let's scroll down here, Connor. Take a little look-see-poo. So this is from the journal. One of the greatest hopes for artificial intelligence, at least among workers, is that it will ease workloads, freeing up people for more high-level creative pursuits. So far, the opposite is happening, new data show. Great. And by the way, I will say this: if you thought that the emergence of AI was going to free yourself up to do more things creatively, you're fucked. If you really thought that AI was like gonna usher in this utopian society where we all just, play the guitar and sing songs all day and fucking vote, then, you really need to be a little bit more skeptical. In fact, AI is increasing the speed, density, and complexity of work rather than reducing it. Amazing. Great job, guys. Great job. Great job, guys. We made things more complex than they needed to be. The data from workforce analytics and productivity tracking software company, no free sponsors, covers more than 443 million hours of work and 11 blah, blah, blah employees. Okay. Examining AI users' digital activity 180 days before and after they began using such tools on the job. That's what they did. The company found that AI intensified activity across nearly every single category. The time they spent on email, messaging, and chat apps more than doubled. Holy fuck. We are creating a whole generation of people that are just spending all day looking at a screen and talking to Slack, and they're on Teams meetings, and they're going to be depressed as a motherfucker. And that's why we're going to war, folks. That's why we're going to war. We're going to war because the knowledge class is tired of being on Microsoft Teams all day. They're like, I want to get outside. Let me. You hear we might get drafted? There might be a draft. If there is an American draft for this new war that's already ended, how are you going to start a draft for a war that's over? They make no fucking sense. They go, the war, here's what the Trump administration is doing. They go, there's no war in Iran. It's already over. We're done. No new wars. By the way, we're starting a draft for the war that's over. We're starting a mandatory draft for the war that's over. If I am drafted to go to Iran, I'm not going to Canada. I'm not running to Canada. I'm not running to Mexico. You want to know where I'm running? Capitol Hill. That's where the fuck I'm going. Okay? I have a degree in aerospace engineering, by the way. So if they draft me, Lord help the world. If they mandatory draft me to join the fight, to join the cause, to join and help defend the American experiment that we love so much, don't you guys love the American experiment? Here's the experiment. It's the Stanford prison experiment. The American experiment and the Stanford prison experiment have a lot in common. There's a few people, the guards, that control everything. And then there's many prisoners that do what they say. And that's not an experiment that I necessarily am supportive of. All right. I hope I brought you down. I hope I depressed you. That's obviously the greater vision for the show. No, I hope you're doing well, guys. I love you. Thanks for listening to the show. We got to wrap it up. I'm in Columbus, Ohio, March 12th, Thursday, which hopefully will be, you'll hear this before that show happens. Please come check me out. seanreillycomedy.com. We will be continuing our conversation on the Patreon, patreon.com/Sean Show. Links in the description. Go down below. Click the link. And you know what? Have a good week. With all that being said, go back to your floating house and enjoy Tulum and your sex robot. Enjoy it all before the end, which may be coming soon. You may look out the window soon and you may see a mushroom cloud. And a lot of people say, when there's a mushroom cloud, look away. I'm not looking away. I'm closing my eyes and I'm going like this. All right. Have a good one, guys. We'll see you next week. Thank you.